Oh, no, I need to call our kids now!
At a bustling gas station where customers come and go without a second thought, the quiet hum of routine can mask the brewing potential for chaos. Imagine this: a simple investigation into a parked car, officers calmly asking questions, and a seemingly cooperative employee. But suddenly, the tension rises, commands are ignored, and resistance flares into physical confrontation. Today we'll uncover the details of an incident that unfolded in Ohio, where a Circle K employee's actions turned a mundane inquiry into an unforgettable encounter with law enforcement. This story highlights the complexities officers face in everyday situations and shows how quickly events can escalate when emotions run high and rules are broken. Join us as we dive into the sequence of events, the confrontation, and the consequences that followed. It's a typical day at a Circle K gas station in Ohio. On May 8, 2023, officers on routine patrol notice a blue Chevy Impala parked outside. A standard license plate check reveals a discrepancy. The plate is registered to a black 2014 Chevy Equinox, not the Impala before them. This mismatch raises immediate concerns about potential vehicle fraud or theft. Inside the store, a female employee, later identified as Emya, observes the officers from behind the counter. Her demeanor shifts as she notices their interest in the Impala. The officers approach her, aiming to clarify the vehicle's ownership and registration details. One officer states,
"The plates are calling back to a different car."
Emya hesitates, but eventually acknowledges that the Impala belongs to her. However, her responses are cautious, and she appears unsure, which prompts the officers to probe further. To verify the vehicle's legitimacy, the officers request Emya's identification and ask to see the vehicle identification number, VIN. They notice that the VIN is partially obscured by paperwork on the dashboard, a detail that could indicate an attempt to conceal the car's true identity. Emya's initial compliance is marked by reluctance. She seems defensive and uncertain, which only heightens the officers' suspicions. They explain the importance of verifying the VIN to ensure the vehicle isn't stolen or involved in other criminal activities. As the interaction unfolds, Emya's body language becomes increasingly tense. She frequently glances toward the store entrance and her personal belongings, suggesting a growing discomfort with the situation. The officers remain patient but firm, reiterating the need for cooperation to resolve the matter swiftly. They inform her that failing to provide accurate information or attempting to mislead law enforcement could result in further complications. Throughout this exchange, customers continue to enter and exit the store, casting curious glances at the unfolding scene. The presence of patrons adds a layer of public scrutiny, potentially influencing Emya's reactions. She appears increasingly aware of the attention, which may contribute to her defensive posture. The officers, cognizant of the public setting, strive to handle the situation discreetly, aiming to minimize disruption to the store's operations and maintain a calm environment. Despite the increasing tensions, the officers maintain a professional demeanor, emphasizing their intent to clarify the situation rather than accuse her of any wrongdoing. They explain that their primary goal is to ensure all vehicles are properly registered and that any outstanding legal matters are addressed. Emya's hesitant responses and visible anxiety, however, suggest there may be more to uncover, setting the stage for the events that follow. As the investigation progresses, officers uncover a troubling series of issues tied to Emya and her vehicle. They confirm that the blue Chevy Impala's registration expired in 2021, leaving the car improperly documented for over 2 years. Even more concerning, Emya has multiple active warrants for her arrest, further complicating the situation. These discoveries shift the tone of the interaction. Calm explanations now carry an edge of seriousness as the officers detail their findings.
"Miss Rosser,
An officer says, his tone firm but measured.
please step over here so I can speak to you about this vehicle."
What begins as a simple request quickly spirals into confrontation. Emya's frustration is evident as she reacts to the officer's questions. Her voice rises, her gestures become more pronounced, and she begins pacing near the store entrance.
Y'all pulled me up out of my job for a parked car.
She exclaims, her tone a mix of disbelief and anger. The officers try to redirect her focus, explaining the severity of the situation, but Emiya becomes increasingly defensive. Rather than complying, Emiya attempts to re-enter the store, ignoring repeated instructions to stay outside. Customers approach the entrance, but hesitate as the scene unfolds. The officers again urge her to cooperate, one of them stating firmly,
"Step over this way, please, so somebody can get in this store."
Despite their efforts, Emiya blocks the entrance, further heightening the tension. As the officers move to detain her, Emiya's resistance escalates. She twists and pulls away, making it difficult for the officers to secure her. The struggle grows physical when she attempts to bite one officer's arm. Her protests become louder, drawing the attention of bystanders.
I need to call to make sure my kids are good.
She shouts, emphasizing her personal concern amid the escalating situation. The officers, maintaining their professionalism, respond quickly to subdue her without causing harm. They manage to secure her in handcuffs, but the struggle leaves an air of discomfort among witnesses. Inside the store, employees exchange uneasy glances, while customers outside appear caught between curiosity and apprehension. Throughout the confrontation, the officers remain focused on de-escalating the situation. They repeatedly explain the need to resolve the vehicle's discrepancies and address Emiya's outstanding legal issues. Despite their attempts to reason with her, her refusal to comply and her physical resistance make the situation more challenging. Emiya, however, continues to protest as she is escorted to the police vehicle. Her resistance does not wane. She refuses to sit in the back seat, further delaying the officers' efforts to conclude the encounter.
Give me my phone!
She demands, her voice strained with emotion. The officers calmly explain the process, reiterating that she will be able to contact someone to care for her children once she is booked. The scene is a prime example of how quickly routine investigations can turn into high-stake confrontations. What started as a simple inquiry into a mismatched license plate unraveled into a series of tense moments requiring swift action from law enforcement. Emiya's resistance, while emotionally charged, ultimately led to her arrest, compounding her legal troubles. Unfortunately for Emiya, her refusal to comply only added to the gravity of her predicament, creating a situation that could have been resolved far more peacefully. Following the encounter at the Circle K gas station, Emiya Rosser faced a series of legal repercussions stemming from her actions and her prior infractions. The immediate charge was resisting arrest, a violation under Ohio Revised Code 2921.33, which states that, quote, "No person, recklessly or by force, shall resist or interfere with a lawful arrest of the person or another." This charge was a result of her existing active warrants and the expired registration of her vehicle. In the subsequent court proceedings, Emiya pleaded not guilty to the resisting arrest charge. However, her legal troubles deepened when she failed to appear for a scheduled court date. Such absences typically result in the issuance of a bench warrant, further complicating an individual's legal standing and potentially leading to additional charges or penalties. This case shows the critical importance of cooperation during police investigations. Law enforcement officers are tasked with ensuring public safety and upholding the law. Non-compliance or resistance not only escalates situations unnecessarily, but also exposes individuals to greater legal jeopardy. As observed in this incident, what began as a routine inquiry into a vehicle's registration status escalated into multiple charges due to resistance and non-cooperation. Moreover, the risks associated with unresolved legal issues, such as outstanding warrants and expired vehicle registrations, cannot be overstated. These matters, if left unaddressed, can lead to unexpected encounters with law enforcement, as was the case with Emiya. Proactively resolving such issues is essential to avoid legal entanglements and ensure compliance with the law. The penalties associated with resisting arrest in Ohio vary based on the severity of the charge. A second-degree misdemeanor can result in up to 90 days in jail and fines reaching $750. A first-degree misdemeanor may lead to up to 180 days in jail and fines up to $1,000. Felony charges carry even more substantial penalties, including extended prison time and higher fines. Emiya's failure to appear in court not only resulted in a bench warrant, but also demonstrated the cascading effects of non-compliance with legal obligations. Such actions can lead to additional charges, increased fines, and a more complicated legal process. It is imperative for individuals facing legal proceedings to adhere to all court requirements and appearances to avoid worsening their situation. Emia's experience illustrates how a routine patrol can uncover unresolved legal matters, leading to serious consequences when met with resistance and non-compliance. This incident highlights the delicate balance between upholding the law and navigating the human emotions that often complicates such encounters. While officers work to maintain order, those involved face their own fears and frustrations, creating a fragile line between resolution and conflict. Emia's actions not only escalated the situation, but also showed the importance of compliance and addressing unresolved legal matters to prevent avoidable consequences. Behind every case like this lies a story of decisions, emotions, and lives forever impacted. Until we meet again, remember to stay safe and keep informed.